The advancements of technology today have provided us with many new advantages we never had before. One of the most portable and advanced pieces of technology today are smartphones, which can be seen almost everywhere. But with this new growth of smartphones, are students also facing a disadvantage when it comes to learning? Many studies show that they are. One researcher found that students send over 100 text messages a day. But with so many text messages being sent, not only are students texting obsessively, but they are texting during class. Here's what social psychologist Dr. Deborah Corey had to say about the issue.
Class is about learning, and education is about gaining knowledge, garnering it, and it's not easy. Especially, when you're going to school, you're taking all these different courses, and it's very demanding. It's cognitively demanding. Texting is definitely a cognitive resource. It requires it. And one thing that I find students, particularly younger students, but it's not always the younger one, there's older ones too, they don't have what is called metacognitive awareness, metacognition. And that is knowing what you know, knowing what you can do, understanding your cognitive resource, where you're strong, where you're weak, and how it's working for you in terms of your own tools in learning.
With many students not having metacognitive awareness, this means it is hard for them to process two cognitive actions at one time. Texting and learning, which are both cognitive actions, usually interfere with each other, and most of the time, students cannot do one without affecting the other negatively. But do the students see that they are being effective in a negative way by texting in class?
Yes, I've texted in class before, and if it's something I don't feel is important, I will text. But sometimes I feel like, what just happened? But I ask the neighbor, and it's okay.
Yes, I text in class, and yes, I feel like it affects your retention rate as well as your grade because you're not paying attention to what the teacher is saying, you're paying attention to your text message.
Yes, I have text in class, and sometimes I do feel like it affects your grades, so I do try and refrain from texting in class.
With students on both sides of the issue, it seems texting in class will continue, but whether students see the negative side or not, they are still being affected. Many studies done on this issue have shown that students are in fact not learning or paying attention in class when they text, and risk not learning the material.
Most of our students run from 18 to probably 25 at most, more like 22 probably the majority. And their brain is still developing. They're still getting to know themselves, how they are as learners. Their metacognitive abilities are still being developed, and frankly probably not being developed greatly if they've not been pushed to understand them. So I think they genuinely do think they can do it. I don't think they're professing something they don't believe. It's just they truly do not understand the limitations.
With young minds still being developed, it is hard for students to learn easily without texting, yet they do it anyway. So why is it students feel that they must be texting?
I know that when email very first came out, you would hear the ding, right? And email. And it's just like, it was so exciting, right? And it was very reinforcing. Well, I have to believe that despite the frequency, there's still something like that going on.
According to Dr. Corey, students feel compelled to text because it gives them a sense of satisfaction and excitement when they hear their phones go off. She also believes that it is because we, as humans, are social creatures.
I'm into physiological psychology, and I was just glancing through an article. I need to go back and reread it more carefully, but essentially they had the brain imaging mechanism going on. It wasn't an MRI, but very similar to. And they actually have a game in which you are socially rejected. It's not horrible, but you still get kind of the rejection. And they actually found that the area of the brain that responds and becomes activated when there's social rejection is very similar, if not exactly, in some pieces, the area of the brain that responds when we have pain. We need other people to survive. We're hardwired to actually feel pain, if you will, when we are socially rejected. So on the other side of that, we're very social creatures. We crave social interaction, even if it's just through technology.
So with all of us needing to feel socially accepted, one reason it is believed we text so often is because it is a form of being accepted and being social. With students texting so often to feel accepted, it is wondered if there will ever be an end to this texting epidemic.